This is a really important issue with possible government shutdown in December. There's a narrow window to get infrastructure finally done in America. How do we do it?
I think that one of the things that we could see in terms of an upside surprise for the markets out of this result, the election result, is real progress on infrastructure.
How? What's the execution to fix the potholes outside our office here?
Well, first we got to get the bill out of the House. The only reason it hasn't come out of the House is because of the increasingly smaller number, but still enough fiscal conservatives on the Republican side that have been blocking this. With Democratic control of the House now, there will be a bill that will get out of the House to the Senate, with the White House pushing very, very hard to get it done. So uniquely, we're going to have bipartisan support and a White House that wants it done. It's not going to be $1 trillion, which is what the president wants. It's going to be $300 to $500 billion, still meaningful. It'll be entirely deficit financed, unfortunately, but I think there's a real possibility of it happening next year. The other big thing that I think happens next year, is drug pricing. I don't think the markets are focused enough on this issue, but with Democratic control of the House, and Nancy Pelosi was very clear on this last night, there is going to be a huge effort starting in January to bring down drug prices in this country, and it will be the Democrats in the House, some in the Senate, some Republicans in the Senate, but most importantly, the president and the White House really pushing on this issue. And I think the markets need to be more focused.
So Charles, I was going to ask you about business. Let me just jump in here. I was going to ask you about business. You talked about pharmaceuticals and some of the drug prices. What else can we expect? If you're a big chief executive right now, not on Wall Street, but if you're a manufacturer, what does this midterm mean for you?
I would say that, for a lot of sectors in the economy, they're going to see a lot of the same, frankly, with the exception of those that would benefit from an infrastructure package, and also drug prices or the big pharma companies will be affected. But across most sectors, there's not going to be a lot of change, which is why everyone likes gridlock. But I think that, again, within that, there are a couple things that I would really focus on if I were running, a major company. First and foremost, in the end, we're not going to see any further tax cuts. We know that. So at least, the Democrats will try to roll back the Trump tax cuts, but they will fail because the votes aren't there in the Senate, and the Dems will do that mainly to try to score political points going into 2020 on that issue. Secondly, we will see a very big effort to protect Obamacare or the ACA. And with that, it means that people with pre-existing conditions will actually still have access to health care. Again, not a big change because that's what we have today. But within health care, drug pricing is a major issue. And I do think that we're going to see a negative surprise on that issue starting in January.